Hey, good evening, everybody. Blitzball Champ is back with a brand new video here on the U to the Tube. So, I wanted to do one more video talking about pro wrestling for the year 2020. Just wanted to cover a couple of things in tonight's video. Gonna talk some Stardom, gonna talk some WWE NXT, and gonna talk some AEW as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So first, starting off with Stardom. First off, I'd have to say we got ourselves new Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Champions. Aphrodite has been dethroned by Konami and B. Presley of Oedo Tai. Yeah, that's right. They have defeated Saya Kamatani and Utami Hayashishita. Um, Konami made Saya Kamatani submit to the triangle arm lock. And yeah, her and B of Oedo Tai are now the new Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Champions. So, what a way for Oedo Tai to close out the year 2020, winning some Stardom Gold. And you know what? I think Konami and B. Presley can be a really, really deadly tag team. And I think they're going to have a good title run. You know, it was nice that Utami and Saya Kamatani had a good, decent run, but I felt like B and Konami will be a great team. And yeah, overall it was a good match, and I felt like it was the right call. I mean, Oedo Tai, has been lacking in the gold department, especially after B Presley lost the SWA title and Oedo Tai lost the Artist of Stardom trios belts. So it was good to see them get some gold back. Um, Unfortunately for Mina Shirakawa of the Cosmic Angels, in the last match that they had against Donna Del Mundo, uh, Mina Shirakawa suffered a broken nose, and apparently it's been said that she'll be out for about 1 or 2 months. So that's a real tough break for the Cosmic Angels, which is pretty much a fairly new stable. They just recently at Osaka Dream Cinderella announced that they were going to be a separate unit and now their own stable. So no longer a subunit of stars, but and they are the current Artist of Stardom Trios champions. So yeah, really, really tough blow to the Cosmic Angels with the loss of Mina Shirakawa with a broken nose. So hopefully, speedy recovery for her. This pretty much was a pretty hot stable entering into the picture with Mina, Tam Nakano, and Unaki Sayaka. So hopefully they can still keep going. But hopefully the speedy recovery for Mina Shirakawa. So at the end of the show, of the final show, which the Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Championship was the main event, they did a nice little year review on their big screen, which I thought was pretty cool. And then an interesting event took place. So you had pretty much almost everybody in Stardom, except with the exceptions of Oedo Tai, in the ring to do, the closing. And then you also had two Joshi superstars, come into the ring in the form of Nanae. I don't. Please forgive me if I butcher this. Nanae Takahashi or Nanae Takahashi and Yoshiko. Now both of these ladies, I don't know a whole lot about these two ladies. Um, I did learn and do a little bit of research. Nanae Takahashi is actually the first ever World of Stardom champion in Stardom history. So she was the first. She was the first. So I thought that was pretty neat. But both of these ladies were, pretty much Stardom alumni. Um, Nanae Takahashi, she's former Goddess of Stardom tag team champ. Um, First time World of Stardom champion. I mean, she was the first one. So she's got a good number of accolades. So yeah, and then Yoshiko, another World of Stardom champion, also a Goddess of Stardom tag team champion. Um, so yeah, I mean, they both have had the same titles, and both had quite a tenure in World Wonder Ring Stardom. So these two ladies come in, they talk for a bit, and apparently Yoshiko steps to Mayu Iwatani, the leader of Stars, and wants a singles match with Mayu Iwatani. She gets up in her face. Saya Ida, the current future of Stardom champion, has her back. Starlight Kid has Mayu's back. Julia says some words, even. Momo Watanabe says some words, mainly towards Nanae Takahashi. But there's just so much tension brewing between Mayu and Yoshiko. But Yoshiko wants a singles match with Mayu. Um, and of course, it was mentioned, Mayu Iwatani's pretty much been the icon of Stardom for a number of years. And, she's been like the main face of Stardom. Of course, you got Utami Hayashishita on the rise, who's looking to become the new face of Stardom. But what's interesting, though, is apparently I've been looking all over Twitter and such, and there's a lot of mixed opinions about this whole scenario. Because I did a little bit more research based on what some of the folks were saying, because I had to learn about this myself. But apparently, Yoshiko got a lot of backlash years ago due to a specific match. And I looked through for some information on this match. Apparently, it's known as the Ghastly match. But apparently, what happened was there was a match for the World of Stardom Championship. It was Yoshiko versus another wrestler named At Yasukawa. And apparently, in this match, Yoshiko went off script during the match and just pretty much just beat the crap out of Yasukawa. I mean, just was beating her up. She apparently had cataract surgery before, and just like her whole face got messed up. I think they said something like, what is it? Had cheek and fractured cheek and orbital bones, and she had to get surgery. Like apparently Yoshiko like busted her up badly, and apparently the match didn't even last like 10 minutes. Kyoko Kimura, which is Hana Kimura's mother, threw in the towel to end the match. Um, Apparently, Yoshiko had apologized for the incident, but got stripped of the title and got suspended indefinitely. Um, and then apparently the relationship also kind of had a strain between Stardom and Nanae Takahashi, which led to her quitting Stardom. So thought it was pretty interesting seeing these two ladies back on here. Um, but I've heard some mixed opinions. You got some fans that are going as far as to, they're pissed off with Rasi Ogawa, or they are ending their Stardom World subscriptions. They see this and they just don't want to have anything to do with it. So, like I said, this is news to me because I don't know these two ladies very well, so I had to do some research. But from what I researched and came across, sounds pretty brutal. Seeing what Yoshiko did to Act Yasukawa. So I definitely understand the frustrations and why some people uh aren't in agreement with this. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about this whole picture? Do you think we are going to get a match between Mayu Iwatani and Yoshiko? Would y'all be interested in that match? I mean, I know the whole situation was like what 5 or 6 years ago, so I mean a lot of time has passed since that. But I can understand why some people just don't like this idea. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe supposedly they may book this for the Stardom 10th anniversary show, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But what are y'all's thoughts on that? On the return of these two ladies, Nanae Takahashi and Yoshiko. Yoshiko stepping to challenge Mayu Iwatani to a singles match. What do y'all think of that? And of course, we already know that we got um, Utami Hayashishita's next World of Stardom Championship defense, which will be against Micah of Donna Del Mundo. So that should be exciting. Also, it was announced that Stardom will have two matches on the Wrestle Kingdom card. So they're pretty much opening matches that will take place on night number 2 of Wrestle Kingdom. Wrestle Kingdom will be 2 nights, and the Stardom matches will be on night 2. They're going to open up Wrestle Kingdom night 2. And the two matches, the first one will be a showdown between Queen's Quest and Donna Del Mundo. We got Queen's Quest of Azumi, the high speed champion, Saya Kamitani, and Utami Hayashishita, the World of Stardom champion, going up against Maika, Natsupoi, and Himeka of Donna Del Mundo. So that should be good. That should be a good, stable showdown. And then the second match, which this is interesting. You got Mayu Iwatani, leader of Stars, and Tam Nakano teaming up, which Tam Nakano is now the leader of the Cosmic Angels, formed that stable. And they'll be going against Donna Del Mundo's Julia, the Wonder of Stardom champion, and Shuri, the SWA champion. So, yeah, that's definitely really cool. Unfortunately, they're not going to air these on New Japan Pro Wrestling World. So I'm hoping that Stardom World could air these two matches. I would love to see them air these two matches, or at least archive them on the Stardom World site, because I would love to see those matches. But yeah, technically they're opening slash dark matches, but it's still cool to see Stardom represented at Wrestle Kingdom. So I think that's really really cool. So that's pretty much it for Stardom. Uh, Gonna jump into WWE for a little bit. Before I get into NXT, I wanted to say, is it me, or does it seem like Charlotte and Asuka as the tag team champions seems like WWE is trying to make a female version of the Mega Powers? You know, like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man were back then. It seems like this could be a female version of the Mega Powers. So it just made me think about that. But I think it's only a matter of time before Charlotte turns on Asuka and goes after the red belt, the Raw Women's Championship. But we'll see. We'll see. Going into NXT. So we look at the NXT Year End Award winners. So gonna go through each of these and read off the winners. So the winner for the event of the year was Takeover War Games. And of course, The Way, Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Austin Theory, Indy Hartwell accepted this award. Which, Takeover War Games was a good one. It was pretty good. I definitely enjoyed it. Rivalry of the Year was won by Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's good to see that Pat McAfee won an award. I don't know what the scoop is with him because apparently he's kind of been removed from NXT TV. From what I've been told, I don't really know what the deal is with that, but I hope this is just sort of a kayfabe scenario. But we'll see. We'll see. Shotzi Blackheart wins Breakout Star of the Year, which I definitely thought was cool. I got a chance to meet Shotzi Blackheart back when she was finishing up in Evolve, and I was just really happy for her when she got announced that she was getting a contract to go to NXT. And you know what? I am calling it. I think she becomes. I think she'll have an NXT Women's Championship run at some point in NXT before she's done there, and hopefully next year, 2021. I would love to see it. Tag Team of the Year for the third straight year in a row is won by Undisputed Era. I mean, I can't really blame them. I mean, that there's a reason why this has been one of the, if not the strongest faction in NXT history. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't surprise me. So, yeah, 3 years in a row, Undisputed Era. Tag Team of the Year. Female Competitor of the Year was won by the current NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai. And I will give credit where credit's due. The nominees for this category were great. I mean, along with Io, you had Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Kaylee Ray, Tegan Knox. Those are some good nominees. Those ladies are incredible. So, I definitely had no issue with the nominees, but Io Shirai winning, definitely was on board for. Not surprised that she won. Now, for the male competitor of the year, was actually won by Adam Cole. This one had some pretty decent nominees. Finn Balor, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Keith Lee, Walter, Tommaso Ciampa. Walter was kind of an interesting one, but still some interesting nominees. But Adam Cole is the winner, so thought that was pretty cool. Match of the year was won by NXT TakeOver 31's NXT title match between Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. And honestly, I definitely was on board with this one, and I really liked how this match was, and I'm looking forward to the rematch at New Year's Evil. I think, honestly, it would not surprise me if Kyle O'Reilly dethroned the Prince. It would not surprise me. Kyle O'Reilly is definitely capable of being NXT champion, just like he was very capable of becoming ROH world champion. So I think we may be seeing a title change come New Year's Evil. We'll see. We shall see. Future Star was won by Austin Theory. This was a pretty loaded one. All sorts of different nominees: Leon Ruff, Jake Atlas, Casey Catanzaro, Caden Carter, Indy Hartwell, Zaya Lee, A Kid, Aoife Valkyrie, Pretty Deadly. I mean, it was a pretty loaded list. But yeah, Austin Theory ended up winning. Which he was a big name in Evolve, and rightfully so. Dude is excellent wrestler. Does some great heel work. But he just recently came back, and he's been kind of all over the place this year. I mean, with NXT, and having a stint on the main roster. Being part of Seth, an alliance with Seth Rollins. As part of the flock, his congregation. With his disciples Murphy, and then he had Austin Theory. So he's been kind of everywhere in a way this year. And then the main big one, the overall competitor of the year. And what they decided to do was they took the male and female competitor of the year and made it so that you had to choose between those two. And the winner ended up being Io Shirai. So, y'all know what this means? This means that we got ourselves a hat trick with these Joshi superstars. That's right. All three, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and now Io Shirai, all three of these ladies have dominated in NXT and have won Female Competitor of the Year and Overall Competitor of the Year. All three of these ladies have won those two awards. Isn't that incredible? So, that's one thing that says is that NXT really treated these three ladies well. And and they're not done with Io Shirai yet. I mean, who knows? Io Shirai may make it through another year on the NXT roster and not get called up, which is fine with me. But I think it says a lot that these three ladies have won these awards on NXT. That says a lot. So, yeah. And like I said, fan voted. So, I think this is really, really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. And of course, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic will be making a return in 2021. So in 2 weeks. So it looks like the brackets and the competitors will be revealed on New Year's Evil. But we do know one of the teams have already declared for entering this tournament, and it's Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. Um, Interesting, very interesting, very very interesting. But yeah, those two will be competing in this tournament, and we've had all sorts of different uh, winners for this tournament. I mean, we've had We've had Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. We've had Aleister Black and Ricochet. We've had the Authors of Pain. We've had I think last year's was Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle. So yeah, and of course um, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. So I mean, you've had all sorts of interesting tag teams, which I mean, if you ask me, aside from the Undisputed Era and Authors of Pain, those are really the only legit tag teams that have won. Because I mean, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, they were just put together. Aleister Black, Ricochet, they were just put together. Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle, just put together randomly. So I'm really hoping that a legit tag team wins this tournament this time. I really do. Because, well, I like the idea. Pardon me. Well, I like the idea. They really need to start getting some legit tag teams in here to win this. I was already upset last year that the Time Splitters got eliminated in the first round by the freaking grizzled young veterans, which I'm not really a fan of, and they ended up making it all the way to the finals only to lose to Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle. But I just really want a legit tag team to win this time. Doesn't matter who it is, just a legit tag team. But yeah, we got the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic coming up in 2 weeks, so should be cool. Should be cool. Um, Last but not least, want to talk a little bit about this AEW Brodie Lee Tribute show. And I tell you, it was so cool seeing the different wrestlers do different tributes to Brodie Lee, whether it was using the sit out power bomb or using the discus clothesline or the running boot. It was just, or his signature pose. It was just so good to see the different wrestlers tribute Brodie Lee, aka Luke Harper, real name John Huber. Um, but the two parts that really, really got me was one, Eric Redbeard, aka Eric Rowan in the WWE, showed up. That was big. That was really, really big. Um, Choke slammed Wardlow and helped the Dark Order get the victory over MJF, Santana, and Ortiz. And just seeing Eric Redbeard in there, um, get all emotional. That was just a sight to see. Of course, he was Brodie Lee's tag team partner back in the WWE. They were part of the Wyatt family, and also they were known as the Bludgeon Brothers as well. But yeah, they were tag team champs together, so that was really cool. Um, but yeah, just seeing all the Brodie Lee armbands and all the shirts. They even debuted a new T-shirt, which all the proceeds of that T-shirt, um, which has John Huber, Brodie Lee on there, and it says "Exalt in Heaven." But yeah, all the proceeds go to his family, which it was so good to have his son and his wife there, Brodie Lee Jr., and just really seeing what AEW and Tony Khan and all the staff did to honor John Huber. I mean, that just, wow. Because originally tonight was supposed to be night one of New Year's Smash. But just going through what they did to throw the original plan out, move it to next week, and do a whole dedication tribute show to the recently passed John Huber, Brodie Lee. Wow, that really says a lot. That says so much. I gotta give mad kudos to AEW. I mean, they had Brodie Lee Jr., -1 at ringside, um, pretty much front row ringside. Um, he got involved in one of the matches using kendo stick to the head, which I thought was cool. And which he used the kendo stick on MJF. But just really. And then Tony Khan presented Brodie Lee Jr. with the TNT Championship. Something that was once held by Brodie Lee himself. He was the second TNT champion. So, yeah, that was such an honor. Tony Khan presenting Brodie Lee Jr. -1 with the TNT championship. Wow. Not to mention, it has also been said and confirmed that they gave Brodie Lee Jr. an AEW contract. That's right, a legit AEW contract. Not to mention, they have made an effort that they're going to take care of his family going forward, even to the point that when Brodie Lee Jr. gets old enough that he gets dibs to be a part of the AEW roster. Wow. Like, and then they did the big video tribute at the end. Place his wrestling boots in the center of the ring. Tired of those wrestling boots. They had different wrestlers say some words. Darby Allin, Chris Jericho, Eddie Kingston, Bryce Remsburg. Like, as I was watching this, I happened to notice AEW has a lot of Chikara alumni. I mean, a lot when you think about it. And it was such a great show. Brodie Lee Jr. had the show in the palm of his hands by suggesting the matches he wanted to see. And they put the card together based on the matches that Brodie Lee Jr. wanted to see. Wow. Just doing what they did and going through the links to honor John Huber and his family says so much. And you know what? I got to give Tony Khan and AEW and the staff and the organization this promote. I got to give them mad props for what they did tonight. Now, that's not to take anything away from WWE. They recently did Monday Night Raw and NXT with a graphic at the beginning to honor John Huber, which of course AEW did the same, but they also did the 10 bell salute. They had all the AEW wrestlers and everybody out there. I mean, I understand that, a lot of people, can say that there's really no comparison, but at the same time, I'm not going to be one of those bitter ones towards WWE. I mean, could they have done more? Sure, but they did acknowledge him. So I mean, it's not really something that I'm gonna be bitter about or really just pitch a fit about. Because at the end of the day, wouldn't want it to take away from what the actual message is and what the whole subject is supposed to be. So AEW went all in on this tribute show. I mean, after all, Brodie Lee, John Huber, Luke Harper, the last roster that he was on was AEW. So, but yeah, gotta give him mad props for this tribute. And they put together such an excellent show. It wasn't so much all about the faces going against the heels and, so much emphasis on that, but just they had a card based on what Brodie Lee Jr. wanted to see, and they honored that. And they put it together. And, Dark Order had a clean sweep, which is fine, which is totally fine. We saw some unlikely matchups, but hey, that's what the kid wanted to see. Give it to him. And that's what they did. So I just love what this promotion did. And just having Cody out there, and having Tony Khan, having John Huber's wife, his son out there, just honoring them, that tribute with the show just says so much. And what a way to end 2020 for AEW. So, mad props to them. But anyway, that's pretty much all that I have. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are, just with everything that's happened. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have. Like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss a video, and thank you for watching. Y'all take care, and Lord willing, I will see y'all in 2021. Happy New Year.